on show tonight. He has been a star so far. He's unbeaten in 17 races, but he's about to face his sternest test so far, his stable companion and other high-class purebred Arabians about to line up in the 2024 Dubai Kahela Classic. We are going to welcome Pat Comerford for his debut Dubai World Cup commentary coverage. He is our commentator tonight. It's all yours, Pat.
A Kahela Classic for the 28th World Cup meeting, and we are underway. And they broke to a nice start as well. To the inside, working forward, Talal Al-Khalidia. AJS Jamran working up into the first division. Baraka, AFL Wajal wants to press the issue early and will lead at the post with a lap to travel. Deeper out, first class, tracks up into it. They will be wide into this first turn. Alakam joining him, and RB Rich Like Me is about 6 deep into the first bend as they make their way off the running. Then came Asfan Al-Khalidia, the international market favourite. He's buried in traffic at the moment, spotting the lead 4 lengths from Sunny Deloop. Then came RB Kingmaker. It was 2.5 lengths to Durgar Mathbar and Hardy D. Carrere. The Omani is at the back of the field as they make their way down past the 1350. Early sectionals 15.04, and they've gone the first 400 there in 26.83. As they make their way onto the back section of the course, it's AFL Wajal. He leads the way by a half length. 3 deep, travelling along well, Baraka, and in the centre was AJS Jamran. Then came next in running Alakam. He's got a back despite being wide. Then came Talal Al-Khalidia. From RB Rich Like Me, first class, Asfan Al-Khalidia just being nudged along here at the moment, not travelling the best, if you could say that. The inside was Falar, followed by first class. Then came RB Kingmaker, Sunny Deloop. Durgar Mathbar was next, and the last one there was Hardy D. Carrere. So off the back, 750 metres left to go. Pace has been okay. AFL Wajal holds the inside advantage of AJS Jamran. Baraka third and 3 deep. Talal Al-Khalidia tracks into it. Already nudged along here, Asfan Al-Khalidia with half a dozen to pick up. They approach the top of the straight, 500 metres left to go. Alakam was next, RB Rich Like Me, RB Kingmaker, probably the last one that can win as they straighten into the lane. And Asfan Al-Khalidia has a big job to do. His stablemate Talal Al-Khalidia goes on by. The local Baraka sticking on here into the minor placings with Falar, and also there was AFL Wajal. It's Talal Al-Khalidia though for Saudi Arabia, hitting the 200-metre mark and drawing away here. He's got 5 lengths here on Baraka. Asfan Al-Khalidia tries to run into the late stages, but Talal Al-Khalidia has run them ragged. A dominant display of class here in the Dubai Kahela Classic. Talal Al-Khalidia, 6 lengths on the line. Baraka second, third across Asfan Al-Khalidia. Followed there next in running by RB Rich Like Me, AFL Wajal. Then came Durgar Mathbar from Falar. Alakam was next to cross over. Then came crossing over next was AJF.
Other horses. I think today he might get close. Whether he'll do it or not, we're about to find out with Pat Comerford.
Set to run. Shane Ryan hits the lever. We are underway in the second event, and Eastern World anticipated the start well. Pressing up with Saudi Crown, who's sold forward early with Walk of Stars, and deeper out, Isolate is going to beat Saudi Crown to the lead. Southern Artist was next, 3 wide improving from 2 rivers over. Then came Desert Wisdom as they come onto the course proper. From Karib, working through runners in the centre was a Caramel Chip, followed there by Swing Vote, who drops back now. Passed on the outside by Scotland Yard and Remorse, who's deepest of all, without a back, and in the back half of the field, Pacholi is the last one, the mare up against the boys here this afternoon. First early splits here, 13.78, and they are bowling along at a nice tempo. It is Isolate the leader, who takes over the running here from Walk of Stars, who's holding him off the fence. Then came next in running there in third position was a Saudi Crown, who's about half a length off the speed, now a length, followed by 2 rivers over. Then came Eastern World, Southern Artist being pressed along. Caramel Chip was next from Desert Wisdom. Then came Swing Vote, who's only got 4 behind him. They were Scotland Yard, Remorse, Karib dropping away, and Pacholi has been at the back of the field and has almost been eased out of the contest with 2 furlongs left to travel in the Godolphin Mile, and Isolate comes up to the outside of Walk of Stars. These 2 pair off from two rivers over. Eastern World, Saudi Crown not travelling, running into the minor placings, potentially Southern Artist, who's trying to pick up some ground. It's Isolate here, back to the UAE, trying to get the win here in the Godolphin Mile. Two Rivers Over is pegging them back here on the outside. Walk of Stars, the running rail. Walk of Stars hits the lead. Two Rivers Over. Isolate finds a little bit more. Two Rivers Over the outside though. Two Rivers Over. Two Rivers Over takes the Godolphin Mile. Second across a photo. Walk of Stars just over Isolate, who's held the final place in the frame. Then came Desert Wisdom, followed by Southern Artist, Caramel Chip. Swing Vote never got warm in the late stages. Scotland Yard was next from Eastern World, who knocked up with
the Dubai Gold Cup. Let's see how the race itself unfolds with Pat.
Team Botti, and we look almost set here for the Dubai Gold Cup. Racing at the 2 mile marker and getting away very, very fast here over onto the near far side part of the course was Passion and Glory. Libyan Glass working up in the early stages with Al Naya. They were followed there by Siskany. Iron Barrows coming across, and Trawler Man using every bit of the track here, coming down the centre part of the course, racing in isolation. Further back, just worse than midfield here, was Giavolotto along with Sober. Seastone in that 3 wide passage along with Daramethos, Savannah's Night. Then came Coltrane. Tower of London now third to last from Enemy, and Roberto Escobar is the last one. Eldar Eldarov scratched at the gates. So inside the 2,600 metres, Kieran Schumacher leads a narrow margin here on Trawler Man as they come to the post on the first occasion, and eventually will work over to sit to the outside of the Japanese runner Libyan Glass. Iron Barrows, another Japan runner sitting in the top 3 from Passion and Glory. Blue colours, red cap. There was a gap of 3.5 lengths as they make their way down the front to Al Naya, who settles down 5th. Now coming across to the fence with Siskany, Giavolotto, allowing them to cross there about 8th and spotting the lead about 7 or 8 lengths here as they make their way off the front past the 2,100 metres. Then came Seastone. In the centre of runners was Sober, followed by Daramethos. Then came Savannah's Night, 2 lengths back to Tower of London, who's now 4th to last. Coltrane drops back in the field. Enemy for Ian Williams into 2nd to last, and Roberto Escobar sees them all as they make their way down past the 1,800 metres. And as they make their way onto the back of the course, Libyan Glass leads a narrow margin, a half a length. Fractions are moderate. Trawler Man the outside in 2nd, stalks this leader and sits on his girth, ready to pounce. Back on the inside, it is Passion Glory, lays 3rd the rail. In the 1-1 was Iron Barrows, followed there next in running by Al Naya. He's fit and has shut off well from Siskany, who's 6th. Then came Giavolotto from Seastone, who's been deep and wide without a back at the moment, forced to improve a shade from Sober. Then came Daramethos. Savannah's Night was next from Tower of London. Coltrane, Enemy, and Roberto Escobar still last. So 1,200 metres left to go. Libyan Glass still having it his own way up in front under Ryuze Sake. Kieran Schumacher not pressing the issue, riding a patient race on Trawler Man outside of the leader, followed there by Passion and Glory, who's on the right horse's back here. Then came Iron Barrows. Next was Al Naya, who's 3 back on the inside. Pace still very moderate here with 800 metres left to go. Siskany was next from Giavolotto Sober. Then came Seastone, who's had to do it the hard way out wide. Then came Daramethos, Savannah's Night in the OTI colours from Tower of London, who gets on Seastone's back and starts to improve a few pairs. Then came Coltrane, followed by Enemy as they make their way into the lane here in the Dubai Gold Cup. Roberto Escobar, the last one. So they come into the straight here, inside the 450, and Trawler Man now takes over and is asked for. Al Naya just lugs in a little bit in behind the leader, but starts to present now. Giavolotto working through. Siskany deeper out here under William Buick. Tower of London starting to launch the outside. Al Nyan claims Trawler Man. Tower of London deeper out in the Ballydoyle purple. Takes Al Naya in the late stages, and Ballydoyle are on the board early. Takes the Dubai World Cup, does Tower of London, and does it well. 2.5 on the line, beats Al Naya. Trawler Man may have held on for 3rd from Giavolotto Siskany. A gap to Savannah's Night, followed by Iron Barrows. Then came Enemy, Sober, Passion and Glory. Libyan Glass knocked up. Roberto Escobar beat only a couple home. They were a... Line cleared. Starter hits the lever. We are underway. Frosted Dawn caught it well. Pontos pressing up there on the far side also. Then came California Spangle in the first few with Diligent Harry, and tracking them Bill Heil. Coming down the centre of the course here, Dania looking to go back-to-back here with Casa Creed, Sight Success. Emirati Anna, King Gold. Star of Mystery not too far away, and heading over onto the near side part of the course, only one, and that is Jasper Crone racing on his lonesome, where it's Pontos at the 700 metres, who's out by 2 lengths. From next in running there was Frosted Dawn from California Spangle, who's got them in his sights. Then came next in running was Diligent Harry, who's close enough with Bill Heil. Emirati Anna, Frankie Dettori starting to weave a passage here through on the filly Star of Mystery. Then came Casa Creed. Jasper Crone over on the near side has got the disadvantage. Next was King Gold. Daniel well back with sight success. It's California Spangle who takes over. The Cantonese Bullet hits the front here from Diligent Harry. Star of Mystery in pursuit along with Bill Heil, but it's California Spangle and Brenton Abdallah. Star of Mystery is going to have one last crack at him, but it is Hong Kong in the Alquaz. 3/4 of a length. Beats home Star of Mystery, who was brave. Sight Success has run in the top 4 with Diligent Harry. Then came Bill Heil, Casa Creed, followed by Emirati Anna. Danya, not his day today. King Gold was next over. Jasper Crone. Unfortunately, the near side has been off all season, and that was on show there this evening. He's running the back few along with Pontos. And the last one home was Frosted Dawn.
California Spangle for Tony Cruz and Brenton Abdallah has strongly finished off down the centre of the track and has beaten Star of Mystery, who's run a blinder in second. But I think we've seen class will out, and that's what's happened today, Martin.
Absolutely.
Well, Tony Cruz is right. I mean, you look at the winner. He's travelling on the front end. We're just passing the 4 furlong marker. That's half a mile to run, and they're kicking for home. Look how fast they've gone. You've got Pontes and Frost of Dawn on the lead on the far side. They start to fold. They've gone fast. The winner is a 7 furlong horse and a classy one.
Yeah, and unofficially, the track record has come tumbling down. It's unofficial, we'll confirm it. 107.5 has broken Wildman Jack's record set here in 2020 in this particular race. We'll confirm that later.
I'm with Chester Liang.
About to be tested in the UAE Derby. Here's Pat.
UAE Derby. Starter has a look at them, likes them, and hits the lever. We are underway in the UAE Derby, sponsored by Atlantis the Royal, and it is Julio Holohara in the early stages with two of his 3 runners coming up to contest as they make their way off the front. It is Autobahn in the blue cap from Oasis Boy, spotting the white distinguishing cap. Then came next in running there Guns and Glory, who's a little wide into the first turn, along with Forever Young, who's having to do a fair bit of work there in the early stages, and Ryuze Sake decides to slip back. Mendelssohn Bay finds himself into the box seat now, just in behind the leading division. Behind Forever Young sees George Tesoro with Pandagate. Working alongside there as well was Navy Seal. Then came Rock Walk from Henry Adams, and Ballon d'Or is the last one. So out past the 1,200 metres they go, and the pace is okay. 8.55, 19.24, those early sections there for that first early part. And up in front now, taking over Oasis Boy. Heads over to the fence here from Autobahn in second. Then came Mendelssohn Bay, sliding up Guns and Glory. Forever Young, the international market favourite, has been no better than 3 deep and punching the breeze the entire way so far. Then came Pandagate, Navy Seal opting to get on the right horse's back here. Then came Ballon d'Or from Rock Walk, and dropping away Henry Adams, who's getting further away from the field. Inside the 700 they go, and up in front, up on the running rail, Oasis Boy leads a narrow margin. Autobahn goes up to apply a bit of pressure. Forever Young still travelling despite being deep as they make their way into the home stretch here in the UAE Derby. Then came Mendelssohn Bay, deeper out Navy Seal, not too far away Pandagate, still with 4 to pick up. As they get into the running here, Autobahn takes over. Forever Young on the 1 rein there, but balances up now, comes up to the outside of Autobahn, who has to be brave. It's Forever Young though for Japan, who comes up to the outside of Autobahn, goes past by a length. Forever Young drawing away here in the late stages, and it's another Japan domination in the UAE Derby. Autobahn very brave in second. Third across Pandagate from Mendelssohn Bay. Then came Navy Seal, Rock Walk, Guns and Glory. Crossing over the line there with Ballon d'Or, and a long last dropping away Oasis Boy to cross over with George Tesoro. And the last one home, Henry Adams, who was pulled out of the contest.
But he produced a very impressive performance. To win by 7 lengths in a sprint on dirt, finishing strongly, is an unusual thing. I think he's got plenty of class. I think they're just about all set. Here's Pat.
1,200 metres, they'll fly along here away in the Golden Shaheen, and Tuz caught the start well, going up with Don Frankie. Deeper out on the course, Hopkins gets into the first few. Colour Up burns across as well, coming across with Freedom Fighter. K.I. Dory up in that first half dozen with Sibelius. Then came Igniter, a length and a half back to Bold Journey, working alongside Run Classic there in that early part of the race. Behind them, Nakatomi from Muhib, Remake, and Leading Spirit is the last one. So inside the 750 metres they go. Don Frankie puts it to Tuz. Colour Up also applying some pressure. They're flying along here, 3 deep at the moment, providing Hopkins a little bit of cover along with Freedom Fighter. Sibelius is already starting to be felt for here. Igniter the inside, then came K.I. Dory, Bold Journey, Run Classic Remake. Nakatomi third to last from Muhib and Leading Spirit. Into the lane they come in the Golden Shaheen. And up in front, taking over the running here now was Don Frankie. Puts up 3/4 of a length here on Tuz, who's game to fight back. They draw away now from Colour Up. Igniter coming from the back in the field. Leading Spirit up the running rail. But look at Tuz. Tuz in the final 200 metres has burned away from them. What a win. Tuz for the locals goes on to win by 5 lengths. A magnificent performance in the Golden Shaheen. Beats home Don Frankie. Nakatomi was getting home late. Potentially run third from Remake Igniter. Leading Spirit, Run Classic Muhib. Back to K.I. Dory from Bold Journey, Sibelius. And the last couple to pull up here.
In 2014.
Maidan history awaits Frankie Dettori and Lord North. Will it happen? Pat Comerford will tell us.
And the field are set here for the Dubai Turf, sponsored by DP World, and they are immediately sent on their way. Now, Lord North came out a little awkwardly there. Frankie went up on 1 foot, but back down and running and hasn't been hindered as a result. Catnip out fast here in the early stages, going up at Luxembourg. Then came Materno Sky, who's pressing on and putting plenty of pace into the race early. Lord North's going to be able to hopefully slot in here very soon. Measured time. Lord North 3 deep at the moment. Voyage Bubble keeping him perched out there. Nashwa using every bit of the track. He's midfield along with Real World, who's on the rail. Then came Factor Cheval, 3 lengths to Danon Beluga, followed by Straight Aaron, Cairo. Doduz is 4th to last, followed by Sandinato. Then came next in running there. 2nd to last was Namur, and the last one was Caliph. So 1,100 metres left to go. First 400 there in 25.25. Materno Sky eventually takes over the lead, and Nashwa goes up to the outside in 2nd, working across to sit outside the leader. Measured time, box seats 3rd, will be sweating on a run very shortly. Luxembourg was next, followed by Catnip, who's improving 3 deep. Lord North on his back, followed by Real World. Voyage Bubble 3 back the fence. Cluttered up at the moment. Factor Cheval, Danon Beluga also there in that midfield division. Doduz has had a horror run so far. He's well back on the inside for Yataka Take. He's going to have to weave some magic here. Cairo in the back part of the field as well with Namur. Then came Sandinato, and the last one, Caliph. Into the straight they come. Up on the outside, Catnip puts it to them. Nashwa goes with him. Then came Measured Time, Lord North on the outside, starting to stoke up here. Deeper out, Factor Cheval, Straight Aaron, Namur the deepest. Plenty of winning hopes here as Measured Time comes through the inside. 200 metres left to go. Factor Cheval the outside. Factor Cheval a narrow leader from Namur. They claim Measured Time. Factor Cheval, Namur the outside. Tries tight. Photo finish, not much in that, a nose either side. Factor Cheval and Namur come down to the line together. Then came, crossing over next was Doduz, who got going late with Measured Time, Danon Beluga, Straight Aaron. Sandinato was next from Caliph. Lord North dropped away with Real World. Then came Nashwa from Cairo. Voyage Bubble was hemmed up there on the inside. The last couple home here are Luxembourg along with Materno Sky. And that is about your race here, and unfortunately, it does seem that the Catnip has gone amiss here in the late stages, and rider Christophe Lemaire sitting up here at the 50-metre mark.
Well, first of all, we hope that Catnip and Christophe Lemaire are okay. We have an incident on the track in the home straight, but we will bring you news on that when we can. Factor Cheval has been confirmed as the winner of this, and he win another one in the Middle East. And Shariar, winner in 2022, looks like he will complete the lineup. The Shima Classic about to unfold. Here's Pat.
Starter like some racing in the Shima Classic. Star on Earth was very fast away. Anticipated the start with Rebels Romance, who works across with Liberty Island. Shariar up in the first group there as well with Point Lonsdale. Then came Justin Palace from Simcamila. About 2 lengths back sees Junko, followed there next by Emily Upjohn, who's up on the running rail. Auguste Rodin is 3rd to last from Spirit Dancer and Sisfahan. So out the front they go, past the 2,000 metres, and Rebels Romance in the royal blue leads the way. Off the track with Point Lonsdale up to his inside here in the first couple. Then came Shariar, who's 2.5 lengths off the speed. It was a length there to Justin Palace. Head on chest in fourth is shut off nicely. From Stars on Earth, the same. Then came Emily Upjohn. They're not breaking any records here in the Shima Classic. Liberty Island was next, followed there by Simca Mill. Then came Junko. August Rodan travelling well at the back. On the steel from Spirit Dancer, and the last one is Sisfahan. So they are strung out here as Point Lonsdale and Wayne Lorden now injects a little bit more tempo. Past the 1,400 metres, the margin now 3 lengths. Rebels Romance races in isolation in second. Third, a similar margin back there to Shariar. Followed there next in turn by Justin Palace, who's fourth and about half a dozen lengths off the leader. Stars on Earth was next. Emily Upjohn, the rail, continues to travel well from Liberty Island, Simca Mila. Then came Junko from August Rodan, Spirit Dancer, Sisfahan still last and sees them all. Inside the 1,000 metres they go, and the tempo has been moderate despite the fact that Point Lonsdale has been left to his own devices. Clicks it up now by 3 lengths. Rebels Romance at a similar margin there, still hasn't made any impressions yet on Point Lonsdale. Then came Shariar, followed there by Justin Palace, who tags up the rest of the field here, the second division, with Stars on Earth, Emily Upjohn. Then came Liberty Island with 10 to make up. Followed there by Simca Mila, then came Spirit Dancer as they start to make their way to the top of the straight. August Rodan, a dozen lengths off the leader, and the last one, Sisfahan. Point Lonsdale heads into the straight here, a narrow leader from Rebels Romance, who goes up to eyeball him now. Then came Sisfahan. Liberty Island not picking up at the moment. Justin Palace. Then came next in running there was Emily Upjohn. Liberty Island starting to make ground, but Rebels Romance is off and gone here in the Shima Classic. Rebels Romance coming past the 100 metres, and his owner, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed. It is going to be Rebels Romance for Godolphin in the Shima Classic. 2.5 on the line. Beats home Shariar. Liberty Island third, just over Justin Palace. Then came Emily Upjohn. Followed there next in turn by Point Lonsdale, who dropped away late with Junko. Then came next over was Sisfahan from Simca Mila. Stars on Earth. The last two home, Spirit Dancer and August Rodan. Disappointing. Dermasotogake a little fractious in the starting stalls. Settles now. Racing. Dubai World Cup number 28 is underway. Military Law fast away with Dura Eride working across Laurel River from deeper out, along with Newgate into the first 3 or 4, followed by Defunded. Dermasotogake check narrowly there. Kabir Khan shoots up the inside. Saloons through to a nice spot on the inner. That's your first division. A gap of 4 lengths back sees Senor Buscador working alongside Krupi. Then came Clapton, and the Japanese pair of Wilson Tesoro and Ushpa Tesoro are second last and last. So inside the 1,500 metres they go here in the Dubai World Cup, and it is Laurel River from gate number 12 who has taken over to go to the lead. Leading out onto the back section of the course by 3/4 of a length. Defunded second. A gap of 3 lengths to Military Law from Dura Eride. Then came Newgate, 3 deep, punching the breeze at the moment, but seems to be travelling well. 1.5 lengths to Kabir Khan, working alongside Dermasotogake. It'll be 5 lengths to Krupi, who's on the running rail. In the centre of horses was Clapton, 3 deep, Senor Buscador with Wilson Tesoro, and Ushpa Tesoro is seeing them all here with about 1,000 metres left to go. So they're about to approach the back turn. Laurel River has had it pretty easy up in front, hasn't had to work too hard, but Defunded and Laurel River clear away from the rest. They lead a 6 lengths. Dura Eride into third. Kabir Khan sneaks up, hasn't gone around the horse so far. Newgate pressed the issue out wider. Frankie Dettori asking the Bob Baffert runner to lift here in the late stages. Senor Buscador was next, followed there by Dermasotogake, already under a ride from Wilson Tesoro, Krupi. Ushpa Tesoro third to last from Clapton. Military Law drops out of it. Laurel River has given them the slip here. Laurel River puts a big break on them here in the Dubai World Cup. The best part of 8 or 9 lengths here, and Juddmonte Farm are close. They are 200 metres away from Dubai World Cup success here. He's got 10 lengths now on Senor Buscador. Kabir Khan drops away. Ushpa Tesoro coming from a long way back, but this is an absolute romp in the Dubai World Cup. Laurel River, Tygo Shea, take a bow. Dominant in the Dubai World Cup. Photo finish for second. Ushpa Tesoro crossed over with Senor Buscador. Then came next over there was Wilson Tesoro from Dura Eride. Followed there next by Dermasotogake, Defunded, Krupi. Then came Clapton. Kabir Khan dropped away.